There we go. Hold on. It's unsteady as shit. There we go. Good freaking morning. Are we, is everything working fine? I don't know if it's working fine. Yo, what's up, guys? How you doing? Yo, what's up? How you guys holding up, man? Hey, let me tell you. Let me tell you. It's 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 hard to figure everything out. You know how non-technical of a person I am, right? And suddenly, in this particular case, now I'm sitting in a spot where I have to solve a whole freaking problem from the get-go. I am echoing. Am I echoing, really? All right. So it's just one person. All right. So somebody trying to mess me up. All right. Lovely, lovely. All right. We have a fellow friend in here as well. A fellow shit show trader has hopped on the chat. He has disappeared from the dark. He is he has arrived from the darkness and he is in the light again. Uh, don't worry. I got sick and tired of the music anyways. We're not gonna have any music. This is usually how it goes. It started off with music and then it stops being music. That's always how it goes. But hey, welcome to the party, Leo.
Hello there. Hi, everyone.
He's here. He is kicking. You're here.
I have an echo on my side as well.
So you're not. So you have a. We have a double echo.
Yeah.
All right. So you have an echo. I don't. I don't have. But are you watching the live stream at the same time? Yes, you are. Right.
Okay. Yes, I am.
Okay. So that's probably the reason you're watching the stream.
I
That.
just put it on. I just put it on mute. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Hey. Good to have you here, man. It's gonna be it's fun chatting with you a bit about trading, how everything is going, right? And now people can see that everything that we have done before, we have been sitting in these calls before, you and I, chatting about um, the market, the 6 week program, and all of these things, right? And see that
Yeah.
it's actually true what you're what you're saying. It's not cut and edited in a beautiful way. It might be because I'm too lazy. We don't know. It might be, uh, but uh, but it's still good to have you here, man.
It's all AI
Yeah,
for
it's
the
all AI.
for all the people.
Yeah, exactly.
For
It's
those that don't believe us.
it's all AI. Something that is pissing me off already is that everything that everybody is writing, I got confused in the beginning because everybody was writing in Swedish, but it auto translates for some reason into Swedish. It's confusing to me. Like everybody started to speak beautiful Swedish for some reason. I got confused.
It's
Like,
amazing.
why
How is
is
that possible?
yeah, I don't know. It's strange. It's pissing me off. I don't know how to turn that off. Uh So hey, we're gonna do everything in Swedish today. I'm gonna try to translate mid 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 trading or midstream.
If
Yeah,
somebody in the chat knows how to turn it off, let us know.
yeah, exactly. Look at this guy Syed. I'm telling you, based on your name, I can almost guarantee you you're not based in Sweden. But but maybe you are. But at the same time, are you based in Sweden, Jay? And you said that in perfect Swedish. Du är baserad i Sverige, Jay. Very annoying. But hey, uh, it is what it is. We're gonna solve that, hopefully over the time here. But yeah, introduce yourself a bit, Leo. Who are you? Who are you, man? For the people that don't know, who are you? Who is Leo?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Um, well, about 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks now. Um, I had the all the luck in the world of being one of the five chosen ones to participate in the shit show model course. On it was on X, and on my birthday, even I was selected uh, as one of the people who could participate in this course. And I have to admit, it has been a wild ride so far, trading wise speaking, and even um, personal, psychological. It has been in such a short amount of time, very, very insightful. It changed me already. And now we are on our way to becoming stable, profitable, and independent, also financially independent. And that's what we are all here for. Um, I am. I live in Spain,
Hmm.
in Barcelona, and I have met people in the shit show group from all over the world, which is amazing. Because everybody brings their own culture, point of view to the table, their own opinions, and we learn from each other. In it's actually a very amazing group. It's very tight knit, and everybody supports each other. If we see if we can help each other out, we are always on the fence of sending each other messages or whatever. The other day, even I got in a live stream, somebody saw that I made a mistake. Boom! Immediately um, commented on it that I made that day a certain mistake. So there's not even time to be led astray and to make a lot of errors. Let's say it's very, from my side at least, very well appreciated, all the support we get, and the information that we are able to share. So yeah, again, it has been now nearly 2 months, a very interesting and um, grateful ride to be to apply this new way of trading. And I will also say this upfront already before we start even to talk about trading. Goodbye market structure. Just that you know, for those people who don't know the shit show level, forget about market structure. Well, you don't have to forget about it. You will forget about it automatically after a while. So
Yeah,
there
man.
you go.
Yeah, man. Hey, great introduction, man. Yeah, it's been my pleasure to have you on board from the get go. It was it was again, out of luck on your end, right? Of course, but it was also luck on my end. We have to be honest with that. I don't, and the other guys, they didn't really want to be on recording and all of those things, exposing themselves. That's not something that is easy to do from the get-go, especially I'm going to dig into your brain. I'm going to find your flaws, and I'm going to work with you, right? That's not something that is easy to do, but definitely something that is needed in general. I'm not saying that you have to expose yourself in front of thousands of people, but in your opinion, or in your case, you wanted to do that just to get that transparent view on the 6 week program, on the course, right? Which is amazing. So it's really my pleasure. And I got to know you on a deeper level, also outside of the recording, and people don't understand that, right? As soon as we end the recording, we keep on talking about other things, like geopolitical things, and life in general, and how you see things. We talk about how we view problems. We talk about a bunch of things, which is really, really fascinating. And as I always tend to say, right, there's always something to learn from me as well. Even though you are ongoing the 6 week program, I get to learn from your experiences in other areas of your life, right? And that's not something that is. It shouldn't be taken lightly upon. People that underestimate information from other people is usually people with too much of an ego to say that I'm basically better than everybody else. I already know everything about everything, and therefore I don't have to listen to you. So so that's usually how that goes. So it's really been my pleasure. um so yeah, the shit show program, you went through it, you are in the focus group right now. What are the, so to say, um we can start with the worst parts, because that's usually what people love to hear. What is the worst parts about the 6 week program, and the shit show model in general? What is the worst?
The wall.
Yeah. Immediately. Immediately, everybody that has gone through it, they go, oh shit, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the worst. And to explain in a few words for those people who don't know the wall, um, is at a certain point during the formation, during the course, um, the information can become not necessarily dense, but if you don't do your homework and you don't keep it on track, I mean that you don't train. You can compare it to a professional sports person in whatever sector it might be. Um, Professionals, they have to train every day, and traders also have to train every day. If you want it or not, if you want to get somewhere, you have to train. You have to test, to review, and whatever. And at a certain point during the course, if it's after 2 weeks or even 6 weeks, there's something that happens, and that you're unable to assimilate more information. You absorb it perhaps, but you have difficulty to assimilate and put it in practice and view that information or apply that information onto the charts. And that is what is called the wall. WALL. And it can go on for a few days. Can go on for a few weeks. In my case, I struggled it for 3 weeks. I felt it coming in the beginning, and then at a certain point, it was like shut. It shut. I shut down. Um, I did my tests. I reviewed the videos. I reread my notes. I even redone my notes completely and reviewed all the videos and all the courses, the lectures from the start, like 3 times while being in the 6 weeks, um, just to be able to find something that unblocks. It's like a writer's block in kind of a way, that if you're working on a story, you can't put any other word on paper. It's like the same thing. And after a while, you start, well, viewing this model, and working with this model becomes more of a habit. You start to manage it better and better, and you start all the fine, how should I say, the the details in which are important in entries, or drawing your shit show levels, and all that stuff. All those details become clearer because you spend more time with it,
Yeah.
and then suddenly, slowly but surely, you start to climb over that wall, or you're breaking it down, however you want to put it. But the most annoying thing for me personally, and I hated Jay for that, but I hated him for like 2 seconds, and then it's just like, oh god dang.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, another week has gone, and I don't feel that I made some progress. But after the 6 weeks, you actually see, when you look in hindsight, that you make a lot of progress. It doesn't feel like that, because everything you have learned in the past, the other way of trading, like to call Michael ICT or market structure or whatever that we have been using in the past, and how we learn to trade, we have to unlearn it. We have to get rid of it. We have to throw it in the trash. And that is like, it needs time. And some people only need a few days or weeks, and other people need a little bit more time.
Mm.
So just to well, to put an end to put a point to it, is simply, my biggest issue that I had was the wall. But you, Jay, you warned us for it. You explained it, so we knew what was coming,
Yeah.
and we could be prepared for it. And then even on another level, you're always available um, to us to have a chat about it, or just message about it, or even in the live streams to talk about it. So it's not something that we cannot get across, or
Right.
something that we can't overcome.
Yeah.
It's simply something that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Yeah, well said, well said. Yeah, the wall is essentially this thing that a lot of people experience in general in the market, in this industry as well. That's also something that these dickheads and blood-sucking rats um take advantage of. It's that wall that they never mention to you, because whenever you hit that wall, you have a decision on your mind. You, in all logic, of course, think that now I need more information. That's the only thing I need. I only need more information at this point, and we should be good to go, right? I might have just missed this one video out of these thousands of videos that exist on his YouTube channel, whatnot, and that is the reason why I'm failing. No, that is not the case. They want you to think like that so they can put you on a subscription based bullshit thing, and then, so to say, live off of you running into that wall and starting over. And so the main line from these, so to say, mentors out there is going to be, you need to practice more, you need to learn more, you need to go over the videos again, you need to study this instead, oh, go over this information instead, oh, you might have missed out on this one instead. But that's not the reality. The reality is, you ran into a wall, you already know the information. That's a fact. And understanding the information can take only 6 weeks. It can take only 6 weeks. That's fine. And then when you run into the wall, which is a good thing, by the way, then you have to make a decision. Do I want to study new information, or do I want to run right through that wall? Of course, for a new guy, it doesn't make any sense to run through that wall, because that wall is essentially the end of the road. So they go, oh, this was not my thing. Let me do something else. This is what we call strategy hopping. This right here, what I'm just explaining to you, is the definition of strategy hopping. And I actually, let me actually see that in the chat. How many have ever felt that something is working for 2 weeks? It works for 2 weeks, and then it stops working, or 3 weeks, and then it stops working. I'm just curious to see how many have felt that very feeling. I might have to imply you don't have any fingers, and that's why people are not typing. I'm implying you guys don't have any fingers to type. There you go. People start typing immediately. Lovely stuff. Um, and the important part about that is that informational loop. You are studying something, it works for 2 weeks, and then it stops working. The reason why that is simply because you're running into that wall, and your, so to say, mentor says you should go and study more information. That is the problem. No, that is not the problem. The problem is you not understanding that this wall is meant to be ran through. That doesn't make any sense in the logical world whatsoever. In the business world, absolutely. Yes, it makes sense. But for you that is just coming into trading for the first time, you're trying to figure things out, and you have so many things to choose from, there you go. And you think they are doing you a favor. They're not doing you a favor. They're just kind of, they're trying to put themselves on a pedestal so you can worship them and keep on being in their loop forever. There you go. And that's not what we do here. You have to understand, and this is literally, again, as I mentioned before, it's like breaking the bro code of being a mentor. People don't like when I speak about these things, but it's the fact. It's the fact. I'm going to speak about it. I don't give a shit. And the fact that people have been able for so long been able to benefit from others people's dreams and hopes are completely disgusting. And that's why we're doing these things. That's it. That's why you learn, you practice, and you piss off. And that's my one liner. And it's actually true. Um, so yeah, that wall is definitely the main thing that everybody will run into, and I see that as a good thing. The faster you run into that wall, the better it's going to be for you to exceed in whatever you're doing at all times. And that is applied immediately to your everyday life as well. Good stuff only, right? Um,
Yeah, you
did
have the worst business model in the industry.
yeah, yeah, I've said that before. I have the worst. I'm the worst. I have the worst business model in the industry. I actually, I actually make people become profitable. That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing, right? But it really is the case, and it's sad to say that that is the case, but that's what it looks like, and people tend to forget that part, and people overlook that, and they don't think so bad of people, but they are doing it on purpose, right? And I'm not saying everybody. Some people are just geniuses of what they do, and they just have to ease their mind, right? Some people are amazing at what they do, absolutely. And Dave and Stoic, for example, those are the only two I really can back up because they're smart people, right? Um, Something good. What is a good part about the 6 week program? Just one thing, not 50, just one.
The satisfaction, um, the satisfaction that you feel when you start understanding everything,
Mm,
and the um, the how should I say, the fact, the distance that becomes smaller between a well executed trade,
mm,
or even an excellent executed trade, and the doubt that we have. And at least in my case, um, with other systems that I tried before, there was always a certain percentage, a small percentage sometimes, but still it was there, of doubt. Why is this candle doing this or that? In the long run, okay, we will go up. So let's go up. But without fully understanding what is happening behind the scenes, so to say. And with the Sichuan model, we can go down to even tick charts and understand what is going down,
mm,
why the market is doing what it does.
mm,
And that was something to, um, in the beginning, there was, it was very eye opening. It was like a cold shower. The fact that you told us that, there is a reason for everything. Of course, there's a reason for everything, because the big funds on Wall Street or whatever, when they move a couple of $100 million into the market, well, that moves the market with 10 points or whatever. Yes, of course, but we don't know why and when they are doing it. Now we can ask ourselves, with this system, why? And that is the
mm,
amazing thing. That is the satisfaction that I felt some
mm,
time ago, and I'm going through it every day even more. This week has been, I started last week to trade also a little bit live. Um, and this week already, I don't know, I still have to, like I told you, to make the calculation, but I think I'm up like 12 hour this week alone. And this is my first complete week that I'm trading
mm.
live, and without any, how do you call it, side wheels to
Yeah,
support me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that is for me, that is how I can describe this feeling. The good thing about this course and this model is the satisfaction, and also, um, the rest that you have, the feeling that you're relaxed while trading. Like yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I don't remember. We were on NQ at an all-time high, and I have never had that feeling before. I haven't told you this, Jay, before, but I never had this feeling that at an all-time high I could be relaxed.
Yeah,
If I wanted to take a trade, so I was just waiting, okay, for this and that, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. But I knew that at some point I would have an indication, a confirmation of what the market would do, and this is something. that with other systems, what they tell you at an all-time high, oh, you don't know what the market's going to do.
Mm,
And yeah, will it go up further, or will it look for a support or area or whatever? You don't know. So you have to wait until it basically comes back to confirm the one or the other. But with this, yeah, this is um, the description or the definition of the good thing of the 6 week program
yeah,
is the satisfaction and the relaxation that you have in trading. It is for me. It's really a totally different feeling. Yeah,
yeah.
for which I will be ever grateful.
Yeah, and I think that first and foremost, for you guys that are wondering, Leo is not paid to be here. I messaged him late last night. Said, "Do you want to hop on?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure, man." And from the get go, I've said you be completely transparent about everything that you feel, so you guys don't, so you guys so understand that he's not benefiting at all from this, other than just speaking with me and speaking about what we think. Um, and regarding, the calmness, right? I think that has to do with somewhat understanding what is going on, and also understanding when you don't understand, right? It's that overview, that helicopter view of watching the market and saying, I don't really know what's going on right now. And being able to stay out because you don't understand what's going on right now. You are not seeing the one-way streets. You're seeing multiple ways that it could move. So you're just waiting at that point, right? And that is something, I think, is built on the question why, like you said, why something is doing something. And when we're at all-time highs, we can just sit there and relax and say it's all-time highs. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen next. Let's see what it tells me to do, because the market tries to speak to you, and thereof the, so to say, characteristic in price, the people behind the market, people that are running things. And I'm not saying algorithm, I'm not saying this and that, I'm not saying this and that, I'm saying see the market as a human being or multiple human beings that are trying to speak to you, because that is the story. That's the subjectivity combined with the objectivity. People speak, either you take trades based on subjectivity only or objectivity only. And if you look at, for example, everybody has read it. What is it called? The Trading in the Zone, the book, right? And
Douglas.
he talks about yeah, Mark Douglas, exactly. And in that zone, so to say, that's subjectivity speaking, right? The subjectivity trading. But I'm saying you can combine subjectivity with objectivity so they intertwine. And that is the beautiful thing. So you can explain why you are seeing certain things based on objectivity, and understanding your subjectivity based on the objectivity that is playing out. And these two correlate at all times. And this is why you don't need to look at the past. You only need to look at the future, lean into that, predict the market. That's all everybody's doing. So I don't understand that part either. You predict the market. Everybody that is a trader, you predict the market. Doesn't matter if you trade ICT, TGR, CRT, whatever you're trading. You are trying to predict the market. Understand that fact. But when it comes to the calmness again, it 100% for me, it's based around understanding when not to, but also understanding when to, and understanding both directions. A lot of traders don't understand when they should not do something. When it comes to this model, they will know when they should not. And that is a beautiful thing. That is something that gets you calm, because you just know that, all right, I don't know right now. So let me just sit back and relax and see it at all-time highs and not have that FOMO. 330 setups in a week. I'll just sit there and wait. It's going to show up any second now. Let me just wait a bit. I'm in no hurry. And that's the beautiful thing behind that, the calmness, because trading the market can be calm. Many times when people don't have the feeling of something being calm, what actually happens is you're just putting on a shoe that is too tight. It's too small. It doesn't fit your foot. And it's annoying. It's tension. It's friction in the shoe, and it's a really annoying to put that on and have that on every single day. Really annoying. But when you find you within something, the perfect fit of the shoe, you're going to have no problem walking in that shoe. You're not even gonna think that you have shoes on. That's a nice shoe, right? And that's the difference, finding what fits you and what people are trying to push on you. Okay. So when you're looking for a model or something to trade, you have to understand that it needs to fit you. I can't stress that enough. If my stuff and what I speak about, the simplicity within the, or instead of the complexity, if that doesn't fit you, don't pick the 6 week program. Don't pick the shit model. Leave. Do something else. For the love of God, do something else, that so you don't waste your time in some bullshit. And that goes for everybody. That goes for everything that you do. That goes for, if you want to trade ICT, sure, go ahead. If that's your style, if that fits you, that's fine, right? And that's wonderful, amazing. Go ahead and do that. That's gonna be beautiful for you. But you have to make sure, because I'm actually looking to, if I can guide you towards people, and if you should take one thing from me, it's find what fits you. You and only you. I don't care if you pick my stuff or somebody else's stuff. I don't care. The most important part is understanding, because that's actually me helping you to become profitable, but saying pick what you want and choose that thing instead of me, if that makes you profitable. And I'm satisfied, because now I've hopefully led somebody in the right direction, in the same way people, I wish people led me in the right direction. Let's see,
Mhm.
you have a couple of some people have been writing here. The confidence you get in the market when you're done with the 6 weeks. Yeah. Is this recorded and then posted later? I don't know if it's recorded. I don't know how this works. And for the people, for the people who know me, Leo knows this as well. Uh, I'm not a technical person. All my autism went straight into the market, and then it disappeared, straight into the dark. It went into hiding spot after that. I've used up everything, and so I don't know. I don't even know how to change my colors. I'm trading you. I don't know how to do. I'd have to ask for help, right? Um, in the same way that Franco said, this is what you should do. Like, I know Franco knows who I am, because he sends a complete step by step guide for dummies, and I can solve it through that. Otherwise, I can't solve it. I can't figure it out. Uh, Jay is the best technical person I know. Yeah. Completely different approach is that you focus on reducing stop losses at their really minimum. Um, Everybody else studied. I studied instead. Tries to find super long moves. It's crazy that I know that I know. Uh, yeah, it's that opposite thinking, so to say, that people before I became profitable, that people told me, this is just wrong, Jay. This is just wrong, and I didn't go with my gut instinct. I saw what was possible if I was just able to find me in the market, right? If I was able to use my stuff, but people shut me down. And that's why I'm here saying, I'm not going to shut you down. Go trade ICT if that's your thing. Good luck. See you in 2 years, right? Uh, but but at the same time, you have to understand that minimizing your stop losses is going to increase your wins. But you're going to be stopped out faster. Yeah, I hate sitting waiting to be stopped out. If I'm going to take the hit fast. I'm not going to be punched slowly. Who wants that? Absolutely nobody. If I'm going to be punched, get me punched real fast and it's done. Game over, done. Couple of seconds, I'm out. Amazing. But when it comes to the practicality of price, how it works on the smaller time frames. When somebody's looking for this long ass move that looks beautiful to everybody that are looking at how much did you win? How much did you win? I'm not looking how much did I win. I'm looking at how much am I going to lose? Because if I can minimize my stop, my R's automatically spike up super hard. And that is why people don't believe me when, like, for Leo right now said that he has 12 R's this week already, and it's Thursday, right? No, it's Friday. My bad. Um, you have 12 hours this week. And the reason why people don't trust that and don't believe that is because they are focusing on the wins, not how much you're losing, right? And I'm looking for the very quick scalps. And some people say, you can't trade. Well, my bank account says otherwise. And so if you're making money out in the market, you're fine, right? So you have to understand the part of minimize your stop losses. Look where nobody else is looking. And I talked to this about this the other day with I think it was either the 6 week program or I talked to the focus group um, about how you were watching the market in terms of I'm thinking opposite of everybody. Where everybody gets in, I'm not there. Where everybody wants to get in, I'm not there. What is the other person on the other side of the market thinking? And this is something that I've started to do, and we're going to hold a live on this in the focus group in 45 minutes or so. But picking your brains, understanding people. Why am I so good with that? Well, I've applied that very thing into the market. Understand what the other side wants whenever I get in, right? You and me, we're looking for where do we get into the market, right? Where do we get in? And when we're looking to get into the market, the first thing that you should do is think, what does the other person on the other side want to do? Up until that moment where that person wants to get into a short, that's your high probability move. That's your one way street. They're not even gonna fight you for it. You're just gonna let it happen because they're looking to take a short from up here. You're looking to take a long from down here. Is anybody gonna take a short in here? No, of course not, because they're waiting for this move to happen. So this is a high probability move, just straight up there, whoop, super fast, super tight stop, super quick move, high RR trade, super fast, and there you go. And that's how I trade. I think what the other person thinks, not what I think only, but I start with thinking, what do I want? And then I'm thinking, what does the other person want, right? Does this model resemble the SBS in some extent? What do you think, Leo? Your honest opinion, as always.
Well, this model is derived from SBS, and um, you, as a lot of other people, me included, at a certain point, but SBS worked for a while, but then at a certain point we started to get stopped out quite often. And it might be simply it's a point of view or whatever. But at a certain point, it wasn't really profitable in the long run and frustrating to get stopped out. Um, and like you told us, at, you had enough of it to be stopped out too much, and you started to develop something based on that. Well, the source is SBS of the 6 week program. Um, but in essence, it's really something else now. We still count from 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. That is basically the resemblance that remains from the SBS model.
Yeah. I think that the main difference is that, or like Stoic himself said it, I dug deeper into what the numbers actually mean. We can call them, pizza one, pizza two, or just pizza, margarita, Hawaii. I don't give a shit, right? Call it whatever you want. ABCD, whatever, right? Or no, actually, don't call it ABCD because that resembles Elliott wave. That's smells like ass. So don't do that. Um, but what you should do is, that's the main thing. But when it comes to the question why behind something, how my brain functions is simply this: I need, in my mind, to understand why something is doing something. Otherwise, my brain cannot accept that part. It can't. And that's simply how it goes. And I've accepted that that is the take on it. I have accepted that that's how my brain functions. If I don't understand, I cannot accept it into my brain. And being understanding is not only objective but the deeper why behind it, like Leo said. So everything in the 6 week program is structured behind a why is this happening, why am I thinking this, why would it turn around here, why would it change direction here, why would I start to think like this here. It's telling you a story. The why, the question why, is the best question ever to be ever asked. That question why resembles the story. It forces your brain to go from objectivity, and you're seeing the objectivity, seeing the two. And then you're asking, why is that a two? Story, right? Where does it want to go? So the why is actually the translation in between the objectivity and the subjectivity, and that itself forms a very beautiful tension between the two and a balance between the two that leads you to understand those parts. So I would say that the deeper end is Stoic helped me build the firm foundation, and I started to see the number twos how they were acting up, and the twos are not the same as the how he sees the number twos, right? Um, it's not the same. So in terms of POIs and targets, so to say, um, but I would say what the main difference is absolutely understanding the why behind it. Stoic is amazing at taking the longer moves, taking the big moves. That just doesn't fit my brain. I don't like to trade the higher time frame. I know some people in my focus group that do, and they're doing well with it, really well. Um, but I don't like it. So I'm never gonna speak on terms of something that I'm not as good at as somebody else. So I would say that Stoke is way better at higher time frames, and I would say actually that I'm better at scalping and smaller time frames. That's what I would say. That's just my style. I like it better because I don't like to be in drawdown. I like to minimize my stop losses. I like to take quick moves. I think um, my average scalping um, time in a trade is, I think it was 44 seconds recently. It sounds kind of crazy, but that is also being pulled down because my stop losses when they go fast. So that is average down. So my average win is about 2 minutes. Two huge candles just shooting back up and no drawdown. And that's how I like to trade. It's just my thing, right? Um,
Yeah.
in the same way that
The
I'll be
fact that
stopped out very fast.
you put your stop loss just a few ticks below your entry is amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling. And if it like was yesterday, um, I had one trade, 26R. Of course, I gave back a lot of it to the market. I ended up with, I don't remember with how many hours, but at some point you say, what, 26R? That is, never, that's never seen. I've never done that before. And by the way, I just checked on the week. I'm at 24R at this moment,
Oh, you're
and that's
24.
Monday. I didn't trade. I studied Monday. Tuesday, I ended up break even. So it's basically Wednesday and yesterday that I did 24 hour then.
Yeah,
It's yeah, it's really confirming the fact that we're on the good track here,
yeah,
and we're building something good.
definitely.
Um,
And I will also say, regarding the R's, I'm a big. It looks to be, of course, I would. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say so because I have a belief that it's possible, and I've seen that it's possible from hundreds and hundreds of people now, including myself mainly. But also, when it comes to life in general, now we're going real deep here. So hold on tight. It's not going to be too deep. I'm not gonna reach down the rabbit hole too much. But when it comes to limitations, for God's sake, everybody listening to my voice right now, stop putting limitations on what's possible. If you think that 2 hours is only possible a week, you have got shit to work on, my friend. If you want to exceed in something that you want to do, you are taking that idea of those limits from your mentor, so to say, that says this is only possible. It's not only possible. Everything is possible if you put your mind to it. Everything is possible. And we're doing it. And the reason why people are able to do it mainly is because they don't put limitations on themselves. That's the reason. It's not that, yes, my system is very simple. Yes, absolutely. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is the limitations that you have set on yourself that we are getting rid of completely. And I have to convince you, and I do that over the 6 week program, how many setups there are, how many trades that exist, how you're not based on different sessions, on specific tickers at only specific time frame, well, mainly lower time frames, but how many setups there are. And the limitations that you're putting on yourself is actually what is destroying your development. 100%. 100% out of 100%, it's going to destroy your progression. But when I speak to Leo in the beginning, I would say that I don't know if you saw other people doing it, but now you're sitting here with a 24-hour week and you studied Monday. Like, you have to understand that in the beginning, of course you're going to have limitations, but try your very best to get rid of those. They are coming from somewhere. They're coming from somebody, okay? And if they're coming from somebody, get rid of that. Don't let other people convince you of what you should believe. That got me stuck in a loop of other bullshit for 2 years because I didn't trust my own thing, because I thought everybody is so good and nice and kind and want to help you. They don't. They don't give a shit about you. And in the same way, they didn't give a shit about me either. They wanted me to get stuck in their loop like they do with everybody else. And now I come with this stuff, and now everybody hates me for it. And that's the case. Now I'm their, so to say, competitor with the worst business model of all time because it actually works. So
True.
understand that limitations actually limit you. Believe it or not, that's how it works.
It's a fact. It takes a little bit of time sometimes to be able to accept it, that to let go of your limitations, because we have been so formatted for so long to follow a set of rules and not go beyond it or whatever, or even during our upbringing where we were kids or whatever, we have formatted to just think in a certain kind of way. But it's like Jay says, um, everything is possible if you set your mind to it. And the fact that you accept it, there are some moments that you accept it that are actually that have, it's quite special feeling. Makes me think of it. I think it was Robert yesterday that said in the feed in on Discord, when he put the screenshots up, that he said he was laughing so hard because Price was actually confirming it was going his way after all the preparation that he did, and just the fact that okay, Price is going that way, and it gives you the confirmation, give you such a feeling that you just start laughing, and that is
Yeah.
also the acceptance of the fact that yeah, man, I've done something good.
Yeah.
My trade, I've executed my trade perfectly. So that's an amazing feeling. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. A couple of questions here. Leo, did you trade? Wait, Jay will be joining your 2 week intensive one-on-one with you next week. Hey, lovely to see that, brother. Make sure you watch the YouTube first, though, to make sure it actually makes sense to you. All right, that's very important. Leo, did you trade live while learning the SS model? If so, how did that work out for you? Or did you wait until the 6 weeks were complete? Did Do you like scalping? That's a question for you.
I did not trade live because I wanted to focus all my attention to learning this. Um, Also, the fact that I was selected gave me this feeling of, dude, if you don't grab this with both hands now, you will be forever uh, late to the party in trading. Because I was following Jay already for quite some time on X. So it resonated with me at some point, and um, so yeah, I focused all my attention on just watching the lectures, taking notes, trying backtesting, and doing the homework, because you don't have to underestimate as well. It's a 6 week program, but that doesn't mean that after 6 weeks you will be flying solo.
Yeah,
Some people do, but the 6 weeks is the amount of information, or the time that you need to absorb all the information and then go to work with it.
yeah,
So for me, I couldn't afford to trade another model live while learning this. That would have effed me up for sure. And So I gave myself a little bit of time, um, and just focused on this. And it's really worthwhile to set everything aside, not to confuse or not to mix up different systems with this, because this is completely different. And also, by the way, who was it that asked it? Oh, Blue Dot Trader. Um, this is a system that doesn't require any indicators. Okay. I remember that last year I was telling someone that, oh, that would be great if I could just learn the market without any help, without indicators, just learn how it moves and trade based on the way it moves, because I was so sick of indicators and trying this and trying that, even programming indicators and stuff like that.
Mm,
As we know, indicators are always late.
yep.
And now I have had the opportunity to learn to trade the market without any indicators. So that's why I didn't trade live. I only back tested, and all the rest of the time goes to homework.
Mm,
So it's 6 weeks of homework. It might be a lot. You in the first week, I thought, wow, how I'm going to do this. Um, Going about my day, and then afterwards still doing the homework, and but it takes a few days to get used to it, but once you're on it, it goes automatically. So it's certainly worthwhile.
yeah.
Yeah. And if I like scalping, a lot. I'm not at the point where Jay is at, that my um, like I said, it's my first week solo. That it only takes a couple of seconds. And by the way, I have to watch out as well, because I have no big start capital. So I just doing an evaluation with a prop firm. So second trades at last seconds are frowned upon and sometimes not allowed. So, but even so, I still am in a trade for it can be for a couple of minutes, but then again, when I become better, my executions will be much better, and it won't be necessary to stay in a trade for a few minutes. So, that is basically the goal we are working towards.
Yeah.
And even so, it would give me even a better feeling to um, get in a trade and 30 seconds, 50 seconds, whatever, even a minute, just get out with uh, a big RR and a heavy trade. I mean, instead of micro, just a few normal contracts. So anyway, I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I was convinced even before joining Hearten to be when you see the power of it in the charts. Yeah. Would it be possible to get a basic, broad explanation of how you execute entries? I understand the role of the numbers, the sequences, how they're integrated across different time frames, etc. Um, yeah, essentially, I can't speak too much about it, but what I can say is multiple time frames at the same time. Okay, so for example, in this case, you have that too, right? And you've seen this on this is the main. By the way, apologies for me. I'm not doing cocaine. If you think that I'm doing cocaine, I'm really not. Um, I'm actually pollen allergic, so it's kicking my ass for some reason. That's why I'm touching my nose all the time. Sniff, sniff, exactly. So when it comes to the two like this, you have to understand that when price is doing this, right, you have to operate within this. This is the multi time frame. There will be another sequence in one way or another down here. Either it can be a smaller one that looks like this. You will take that two, and inside this two, there might be even another one, right, that does this. So now you will have your entry here with your stop sitting here and your target is still up here. And now you can see how we're reaching so big R's uh, that we do, right? Because you're minimizing your stop loss based on the fractal nature of price. And that's the simple way to put it. It's the same thing that you're doing essentially in week two will be done for later on in the 6 week program later on as well. So that is something to keep in mind. There's multiple sequences at all times. And that is the beautiful thing of it, right? I will tell you as well that some people have actually, or not all people, but a few of them said to me that they actually did the just studied, and this was pretty cool to me. They studied the YouTube series and became profitable with just taking the big twos with big stop losses. Um, and became profitable. And with that profitability in a live account, they got into the 6 week program. That was a pretty cool story, by the way. Um, However, I find it more complex to determine the actual entry on the lower time frame. Is there is there a general rule, or does each student develop their own approach based on market experience slash backtest? I would say there's so many different types of opportunities within the sequence, and people will simply find based on the multi time frame perspective and whatnot what they tend to like the most. So you will see many people in the focus group, for example, they will trade different things, but it's still on the same foundation of the shit show model. It's everything that you are being taught in the 6 week program, but they're picking and choosing what they're focusing more on. So to say that one punch. And that's why we are going over the 6 week program like we do. And then you're finding you within all of that. Like, I tend to see this a whole lot. Well, you should probably walk that walk then. Because if you like and you automatically start to see certain things, that's finding you within something. And that is something you can take advantage of. That's going to be your one punch, right? But me as a mentor of the entire thing, well, of course, I know how to operate all kinds and all sides at the same time. Um, so, regarding that, I would say that you have to find you within that and what you like the best, so to say. So it's the same foundation, and everybody will understand what everybody is doing, but they might not be as good at as it as somebody else. So Leo might not be as good as, let's say, Smear, who's in the focus group as well. Um, that in taking the threes inside the twos because it's just he doesn't like it as much as he does, right? So that's basically how you go about those things. That's a simple explanation. It's of course a deeper one behind it. But I can't speak too deeply on exactly how to take that entry, um, unless you're in the 6 week program, because I want to make sure that I'm not leading you astray into something that you will work on for 5 weeks, and I have no control over your progress in that. Um, is it fair to say that the fractal nature of the market is what you are riding like a wave? Is the SS model the map to help you see this fractal nature overall story better, timing entries? You could say so, yeah. Um, the only problem that I've ran into when it comes to the fractal nature of market structure or the market, sorry, um, is that some things are working against one another. Because, for example, um, I don't like the higher time frames. They tend to not be as responsive as the 1 minute and lower, right? Um, and that is something that we have to understand. But in the same way that very thing is, so to say, not working the same as the lower time frames, that would essentially resemble that the market is not fractal, but it's fractal at the same time. So based on it could be characteristics of different time frames as well. But that is speaking against my idea of the fractality of price, because if it doesn't work the same on the 15-second chart, it doesn't work the same on the 4 hour, right? But that might just be a characteristic that is the case. And we talked about that in the live that we held yesterday in the back testing that a lot of people showed up for. Um, how the higher time frame tends to not sweep out the twos. For example, if you're creating a three and then run back into the two, it doesn't really care. It's going to care more about the lower time frames shit show levels rather than the higher time frame ones, right? Um, and that is speaking directly against my idea of the fractality of price. And that's not something I can solve. I really genuinely don't understand why that is the case, but that is speaking against it. And that's my honest answer on that. I can't answer that why that is, but I still find it that price is fractal, but that is the one thing that is speaking against it. Very interesting. I'm still trying to figure out why that is, and my only answer to that right now is the characteristics of different time frames. It just is, and that's annoying to me because I just told you I need to understand why, why something is. So that is mind-boggling to me. I'm still trying to understand it. what is the main time frame to trade on, Leo? But I can answer that as well. I trade 1 minute and lower, and I think Leo does the same thing. Um,
Yep, I answered Travis.
this model works, guys, but only if you put in the work. I've joined the 6 week program in January and can absolutely recommend Jay in the model. P.S. Leo, you're kicking ass, man. Yeah, yes, you are. It's pretty cool to see as well that your first week alone you're pulling in 24 hours. That's I didn't know that until when you just said it here. I didn't know, right? We haven't chatted about that since the last
No,
call we held. So that's amazing. So well done and keep up the good work. And don't let that ego really keep that down. Really keep that down because grabbing 24 hours this week and you're like, I'm on top of the world. I'm the best trader of all time. That's gonna kick your ass next week if you don't keep that down, right? I'm not saying that you can't speak about it. I'm just saying find ways to humble yourself. Very important. The best shit show traders that I know in the focus group, the most humble people, the most humble people. Absolutely.
I I experienced it on Tuesday when I gave everything back and
Yeah.
ended on zero for
Yeah.
the day. It's and by the way, even the last 2 days as well, I have one or two very good trades, and then a lot of 1 hour losses.
Yeah.
Like 5 1 hour losses. Okay, it's only 1 hour per trade, but it adds up, of course. So honestly, my ego doesn't have time to get inflated because if I'm not um, watching out and respecting the story and the system and also my own rules that I have, I get slapped immediately. I get punished immediately. So
Yeah.
it's I agree with you, Jay. It's yeah,
Yeah.
we have to keep it in check.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On NQ livestream, Jay mentioned something called CBC. May I ask what the full form of it is? That's something that is being taught in the 6 week program. Um, CBC stands for candle by candle. Imagine that. I don't tend to have so many shortening words. People that come, people that come from ICT tends to shorten things down into some nice pronunciations and BRs and this and that. I didn't know what it meant in the beginning. Uh, but I have CBC stands for candle by candle. Um, candle by candle stands for essentially reading the market candle by candle. Imagine being that simple. Um, so you're reading the CBCs from the 1 minute chart, understanding essentially a smaller time frame sequence um, in the higher time frame, so to say. But but that is regarding again understanding the multi time frame perspective, the numbers characteristics, the advanced sequence, and then CBCs upon that, and you can read all of this in one time frame. Because I tend to stay on just one time frame, and that's the 1 minute. And the reason why I do that is because how my brain also functions. Also, take note that I'm saying my brain, my all the time, my because it's me, right? This might not be the same thing for Leo, for example, but how my brain works is that if I'm sitting on the 1 second chart, let's imagine I'm gonna take note of every single candle that is happening in the 1 second chart. But every single candle on the 1 minute on 1 second chart is not going to be as powerful. Of course, there's an explanation to it, but there's way more information to take in during just a little breathing room on the 1 minute chart. And of course, that's going to be a sequence in one way or another. But my brain is going to go on um, basically informational spike. And that's not going to help me in understanding what the market is doing. So, what helps for me is staying on the 1 minute, understanding how the 15-second chart looks in the 1 minute, how the 1 second chart looks in the 1 minute, how the tick charts 25 100 looks in the 1 minute. And that is something that is very important when you are watching how I'm trading. I'm watching one time frame because otherwise it will be information overload and I can't comprehend the information in the same wavelength like I would have um, on the 1 minute in comparison to the smaller time frames. So CBCs is regarding the 1 minute chart, reading the smaller time frame sequences in the higher time frame. That's what it stands for, essentially. Um, let's see, how many time frames do you see? Well, that's sort of answer that question. After learning the SS model, do you also cover trade psychology and trade management? I can make money, but I end up giving it all back and then some. Dang it. Dang it. He's been watching. He's been watching our conversations, Leo. God dang it.
God dang it.
Yeah. I think yes, I'm starting to cover that more and more. Mainly, and that's what I literally this week started to do in the focus group as well. Literally taking somebody and saying, "Hey, man, are you willing to expose yourself so I can kick your brain's ass if that's okay, if that's okay with you, like I can do with Leo." But understanding in the same way I'm understanding the market in terms of people, how the other side is thinking, even me without seeing them, right? In the same way, when I'm watching the shit show traders now, I tend to focus on what their main problems is in terms of psychology. Many people think that objectivity is many times the problem into why they're losing money. That's not the case. The case is you're losing money because there is an underlying asset of psychology and a feeling inside of you that makes you do something. You're acting based on an emotion, but you don't think it is. You think it's objectivity, but it's really not. And that's something that I'm starting to do more and more now, and building things around that to help other people, so to say. Um, I also realized that I sit on that ability to do that after I had a pretty big conversation with a pretty big entrepreneur, a multi $100 million man that I helped read his problems with his company and so on, and I helped him figure that out. Uh, but understanding other people in the same way, why you're seeing so many people succeed is because I understand what they're thinking, what they're feeling before they know that they're feeling it. I think that that's the main thing. Um, so we're going potentially more and more into psychology. But I would also say when you understand the model in a very, very deep end, understanding that there's no more information, but rather I can essentially give you this, for example, Blue Dot. Um, your feeling of giving it back has to do most likely with the idea of I could take more. You have a high set standard. You could take more, and you start to drift down. So when you take one loss, you get frustrated over that one loss, even though you've taken three wins. Those three wins doesn't count anymore. As soon as you take one loss, you get, that's annoying. I thought I was gonna make 100% wins today. And then you take that one loss, which makes you a bit frustrated. So you try to force something, and now your objectivity is skewed because you want something out of the market rather than getting what the market is telling you. So it's obscuring your objectivity over time because of a feeling of I want, right? It could be wrong, it could be right. You tell me, but that's definitely the main sort of problem. I want something, and then based on that feeling, you tremble on, so to say. Um, but these perspectives are very important, and over time, I get to learn exactly what you do. I'm able to help you out, definitely. So, um, and the focus group is also based on what people want and need. Um, so if people feel like, okay, let's have this 5 upcoming weeks just focusing on psychology. Absolutely. If the majority wants that, we're gonna do it. It's a team effort. The shit show model is a team effort. The shit show mindset is a team effort about what everybody needs. Um, agree with Jordy. I failed at ICT for 2.5 years until I found the shit show model. Lovely. Nick Scalps. Yeah, you have it in the name. um, in 20 minutes, there's a live in the focus group about psychology. Yeah. Um, Hi, after the shit show program, I just focus only on buys. Wait for the bearish two to fail and blindly enter and really working for me. Thanks to the model J. Hey, whatever works for you. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't work. Somebody was focusing more on time-based stuff. I've seen Robert. I don't know if he's here now, but I've seen Robert apply TBRs in the shit show model. Amazing. Go ahead. Whatever works for you, man. right? I'm not gonna stop you from doing what works. If you make money from the market, we have succeeded. Good job. Enjoy your life. I have no ego in terms of what you're using and what you're not using. The goal is I want this to be out there because it's different and nobody's talking about it. I have to make sure it's out there. That's on my mind. Somebody else just strolling around. At least I've done my part into try to expose this to more people to help them out. That's all I can do. I can't do more than that. And now I've gotten rid of that feeling on me. Self sabotage in my mind needs to work. Yeah, lovely stuff. All right. Do we have any other questions for me and Leo? Is there anything else that you guys feel like this is what we need to? I want to ask this regarding the 6 week program. If you're confused about that, how that works, regarding mentality, mindset, whatever. Shoot, if that's the case. By the way, this pollen is kicking my ass, man. Runny nose, annoying stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to add perhaps also the fact that for the people that aren't part of the 6 week program, um, what is totally different with other courses is the fact that you, or other models, the fact that you can add your own story. You have to learn to create your own story. That is a very abstract concept in the beginning. That is something that we never learned before, and so it's like a skill that we haven't developed yet. And it's I don't know, like a sixth sense that you need to still develop. But once you are getting in it with the objectivity, the technicals, subjectivity, your own story, in other words, towards the market, you can still win. You, of course, you will you will win when you're right, but you can still win when you're wrong. There are a few concepts with the 6 week program that are really that um, raised my eyebrows in the beginning, but yeah, I can only say that it's a totally different approach, and it's new, but it's totally worth it for those that yeah, don't have experience with it. Just wanted to add that.
Yeah, ready to join the SS program next week. Yeah, and again, it's important that understand that you can watch the YouTube videos and you can become profitable with that. You can become profitable with the YouTube videos. That will take a lot more time, right? That's fine. I came from free information, and I will say that. But if you want to learn what I've learned over the past, year, 2 years of training the shit show model, it's gonna be in there. And you're also gonna realize nothing is being hidden. And I've got like I'm not gonna say too much about that, but to keep sort of your edge into teaching, you need to keep something for yourself and make new things. I don't care if the 6 week program goes for shit. I don't care. And that's simply because I know it works for me. It's gonna keep on working for me. And that's a very calm feeling that I have. I don't rely on this. I just um want to see how many people I can help uh be, before I go crazy with the life, right? Because again, it's important to have the idea of developing other things, creating other things, because otherwise trading becomes very boring. But doing other things, have higher expectations of yourself. Don't put limitations around. As soon as I'm profitable with trading, it's game over. No, that's not the case, my friend. It's not the case. Make sure to understand that um, you can simply, with no limitations in your trading, whatever you are trading, you can level up your game like crazy by just not letting somebody else put limitations on your mind. And you can start off with my YouTube stuff. Try to figure it out by yourself. That's fine. You can join the 6 week program. That's fine. That's gonna make it everything way faster in a more structured way. You get to ask questions all the time with the Q&A lives. It's lifetime access, by the way. So um, or 8 years. I couldn't put lifetime access. So you have 8 years ahead of you studying these things. But again, it's important to understand that you can succeed without, so to say, um, without joining, but it's going to take more time. And yeah, that's the difference. Be ready for mind blowing. That's right. That's right. All right. I don't feel like we're gonna have we don't have too many more questions. And well, I appreciate the chat with you, Leo. Thank you for hopping on, for taking your time to be here. It's not, I don't take that lightly, right? Um, if,
You're welcome. It's
all
my
right.
pleasure.
Do you have anything else to add for the people?
No, I think we crossed the major um, items. Um, we touched the most points of interest. Um, it's not really interesting to go into technical detail right now, of course. Uh, it's just, I'd say, an introduction to people who aren't part of the group yet,
For sure.
what it's about and how it works, and also the fact that I'm living proof. I was a lucky bastard to be able to join, and that it works.
Yeah.
So, but like already a few of our colleagues said in the chat, you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
It's not a set uh, a set thing that you are able to implement on your charts, and it's not a bot. It's not an algorithm.
Yeah.
You have to put in the work, and if you want to do that, if you're willing to do that, it's almost success guaranteed. But you have to respect your own time that you need. That was also a thing, actually. Now that I think of it, sorry, once I start blabbing, I continue. But it's just um, the fact that you change emotionally, you learn about yourself. You come across yourself one or two times during the 6 weeks, which yeah is also described as the wall. But it's how should I say? You learn quite a lot about yourself, how you see the market, and if you respect yourself, uh, your emotional intelligence, then you will definitely yeah go far.
Yeah.
And you, Jay, you confirmed it for me as well already a couple of times. So yeah,
Lovely stuff.
it's yeah.
Well, I'm glad to have you on board, and you know that I think so. I actually enjoy speaking to you. Not just because you're a nice guy, but you're a smart person, and you would be a smart person even though you would have ranted the living shit out of the 6 week program. And I like either way, right? I don't like you because you like the shit show model. That's not how it works. I like a lot of people that don't like what I do as well. So so I appreciate your time, man. And for you focus group members, I will see you in a couple of minutes in the live when I'm gonna pick the living shit out of Bearded Germ's brain. I'm gonna rip his brain apart and expose his ass, right? Um, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. If you want to see more of this stuff, more lives, maybe more lives with Leo, who knows, right? Um,
Yeah, why not?
yeah, right. Um, leave a couple likes, maybe a nice comment about how good looking I am, even though I'm on pollen allergic attack. Um, share it with your dog, your neighbor, your grandma, whatever. Make sure to kick ball with NQ as always. Speak to you very soon again. Take care,
Bye.
Stay